Hello. Happy Tuesday. I am back and we are going to talk about different ways to market your business, what to do before you start to create your content for your business, and really how to make sure that you're grabbing your target audience attention. All right. So before we dive into it, I just want to say I pray that everybody who is a father had an amazing Father's Day and a great weekend. So now we're going to get right back into it this week and really talk about how do I market my business? How do I market that event? How do I market that product or service? Okay. So we're going to talk about that today. And what I'm going to do today is not going to be really like how I normally teach. Today is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a social media audit. So I'm going to go over this audit of what you need to do before you create your content and post your content. And if you would like this audit sent to you, just let me know in the comments below. Just comment marketing strategy. Okay. Just put marketing strategy in the comments, okay? So there are 4 steps that I'm going to go over. 4 steps. 4 steps when it comes to how to market your business, what to look after, and what to include with your marketing strategy. So step 1. Step 1 is initial information gathering, all right? So before we start marketing, before we start creating content, we need to be clear on a few things. What is it that we do, and being clear on what we don't do. Okay. So whatever your business or your service is, making sure that you are clear on what it is that you do and being clear on what you don't do. Okay. So being clear on that is super important. And then by knowing that, you will know who your target audience is. So who is your ideal client? Who is your ideal audience? Right? You want to make sure that you know who your target audience is. When you're creating content, who do you have in mind? Being clear on that so you can talk to that specific that specific person, that specific family, whatever it is, have your ideal client or your target audience in mind. So identify your target audience. Identify your target and ideal client. Okay, so when you have that, then you know what to start to actually address in your content. Once you know what it is that you do, who your ideal client is, now you can identify their struggles. What is your ideal client's struggles in this current moment, day and time, right now? What is your target audience actually struggling with that you can actually help them with? Okay, so that's one of the things that you really want to take time to brainstorm. Before we start making content, before we start just posting, let's strategize, let's talk about it, let's really unwind and figure out who is my ideal client and what are they struggling with that I am able to help them with. Okay, so you want to take time to know that. Know what are their fears. What are some of the things that's holding your client back from actually moving forward in whatever it is that they're supposed to be doing? What are some fears that your target audience is actually struggling with that's hindering them from, coming to that event or going to that business networking event? What is it that is a fear that you can actually speak to? People like to know, you're bringing some type of value, insight, and input to their real life situations. And if you don't know who your client is, you cannot identify their struggles or their fears. Right? And this is just general. Of course, we don't know people's business, but you will be able to identify your clients, your ideal client's struggle and fears. So that way, when it comes to your content, your service, and your product, how can I, within my business, help my client with their struggle and their fear? So that's how you start to create content. That's what your content needs to be based off of. It's called pain points, right? You need to know your ideal client's pain points, what their struggles are, okay? And what are their desires? What do they desire to accomplish? What do they desire to achieve, right? What do they desire to actually have for their family, to have for themselves? So then you're able to, okay, I know my client desire is to go on vacation and have the time of their life. So I'm going to create content on how being a part of this community or this event can inspire them and show them ways on how to do that. There's strategy in the marketing when it comes to information gathering. So you want to take that time to really figure out the things about your target audience, okay? And when it comes to that, you have to be clear on what problem it is that you're solving. What problem are you solving for your target audience? And even then you can create content upon that. The problem that you're solving can help benefit you in XYZ many ways. My product can help whatever problem you have by doing X, Y, and Z. If you have this service or if you come to this event, you will then know how to do A, B, and C, right? So if you know your ideal clients' struggles, whatever they're facing and their fears, you can then speak to whatever problem that your product, your event, your service, right, will actually solve for them, okay? And another thing you want to keep in mind when you're making your content and then actually posting it, we don't make content to not be seen. We don't make content for it to just, go dwindle in the air, right? We make content so that it can be seen by the people who wants to see it. So make sure that you're bringing value, because this will help broaden your reach. When you make content adding value, you want to make sure that you're either educating them on how to do something, give the free gems, man. People, they want to know that they can come to your page and just walk away with something. And it's still bringing value. So you want to make sure that you're educating your audience, how-tos. If you're inspirational, if you want to inspire people, let that be your page. Your page needs to have a brand or business voice, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But what value are you bringing? Is it education? Is it inspiration? Or is it demonstration? Right? Are you demonstrating how to do things on the laptop? Are you demonstrating how to do things through an app? Are you demonstrating how to set up your camera or use technology? Right? So you want to make sure, even nails, how to get this art to do whatever, how to get this picture this crystal clear with this lighting. People want to know how to do that. And if your page brings value, that is a way to build up your community and build up your business page. Okay. Also, then you can consider what time of the day is your target audience actually scrolling. Like you need to get into the life in the day-to-day of your target audience. What time of the day is your target audience actually like scrolling? Are they scrolling like in the beginning of the day? Or is your target audience actually just at the end of the day? You need to know that. When are they actually scrolling, so that your content and your value, your event, they will see it and it won't just bypass them. If you post them when they're not on social media, you're probably going to miss out on a lot of people that need to know about your event or your service. Okay? So don't want to miss that, and you got to figure it out. Hey, prophetess. Absolutely. Absolutely. So you need to also know, like, figuring out what your audience likes to do. What type of events do they like to attend? Where would you find your target audience? What events will you find them where you can actually connect with them? You can go and actually meet with them. You can actually promote and have your events partnered up with these specific places and events, right? Knowing who your people are, who is assigned to you. If you know where they are, then you will be able to be strategic on reaching. Like, we're not trying to market to reach everybody. So that's the whole purpose of strategy and marketing. whatever it is. If you have intentionality with your strategy, you know when your audience likes to hang out, when they're scrolling, and what their fears and their struggles are, so that you can help them, let them know that you can help solve that problem. Okay? Next, you want to know what's your audience, your target client or ideal client, what form of communication do they prefer best? Some people are very like, don't call me, I'll see the text messages, shoot me over a text and I'll see it and I'll get to it, X, Y, and Z, right? Your target audience or your client may prefer emails. They'll probably say, I am busy hustling and bustling, but I'm always checking my emails. What is your preferred client's preferred communication? So that way, when you get to, attracting people are trying to get in touch with you, okay, the best form of communication, some people could be different. This is not 100% like black or white, but for the most part, your ideal client may prefer emails. They may prefer phone calls, right? They may say, don't send a text because I'm not going to see it. Just give me a call so I know what I need to do, right? So having these things in mind and, taking the time to write this out will help you be more intentional about how you're marketing your business, how you're marketing that event, right? You don't want to market and then it doesn't go nowhere. You don't want to take time to plan an event or, create a product or a service that you have and it doesn't go nowhere. You don't want to work backwards. Okay. So step two is social media page review. All right. So you want to make sure that your page is separate from your personal. All right. I'm going to make sure that my business page is completely separate from my personal page. Why? Because I don't want my audience confused. Okay. My audience should know exactly what to expect by following this page. They're going to know about events. They're going to know about different education tips pertaining to my business or service. They're going to know how to reach me, what events are coming up next that they can participate in, how to join a community, whatever it is, what product or service that I may be giving away and things like that. They will know what to expect from my business page. It should not be a mixture, okay? You should not have your personal with your business. It causes too much chaos, okay? So when it comes to that, you want to make sure that your bio is clear. You have a clear bio on your business page. One thing, what is your clear bio? And it should be like that across all platforms. It should be like that, the same bio in your Facebook. It should be the same bio in your LinkedIn. It should be the same bio in your Instagram. It needs to, in your YouTube. Have it across the board. Everything needs to be the same. Have a crystal clear message and have value driven purposes within your bio. All right. Talking to who? Talking to your target audience. Your bio should be clear, talking to who? Not everybody, but your target audience and your ideal client in mind. All right. So you want to make sure that includes your niche. Now, I know people may hear about this niche thing. What is this niche? Niche is basically what it is that you do and what can people expect from you. Are you going to be giving me inspiration, or are you going to be teaching me how to lose weight? Are you going to be sending me, demonstration videos on my phone on how to, connect my YouTube or work this camera that I just bought, or how to work something online? Are you showing demonstrations? When you find people pages and it's nothing but fitness, how to get these abs together, what is your niche? Are you educating? Are you demonstrating? Or are you inspiring? So make sure it's a clear message on what it is that you're doing, right? People want to know how you can help me, because the follow is free, but it still needs to bring value. The subscribe is free, but I can unsubscribe if I'm not getting value. Okay. So having that crystal clear niche, bio, and value in your professional social media page is crucial for your target audience and your ideal client, even staff, whatever, people, volunteers. You want to build a community, and it needs to be clear on what I'm joining here. What am I going to expect here? What can I get when I hit the follow, I want to know more. Like when I'm trying to lose weight and I find somebody that makes some good looking weight loss meals, I'm gonna follow you because I want to see more of that because I need help. You're solving a problem. I don't know how to create weight loss meals. So I'm gonna follow you to give me some ideas. If I follow you and then you talking about something else, then I may, okay, this is not what I was expecting. So it's super important to have that differentiation, okay? Also, your profile picture, it needs to be clear. It needs to be professional. It needs to be consistent across all platforms. If your profile picture is different, they might be like, oh, is that girl or is that him? You know, have it consistent across all your business profiles. You know, you have a personal, but you have your business, and have your business consistent across all profiles. And even if you don't have a professional picture, use a logo. And I mentioned before, if you don't have a logo, I can help you with that. You know, you don't have to have a, JCPenney professional picture, just use that logo and make it the same across all platforms: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Okay. Your username and handle, of course, that needs to be consistent across all platforms. At your business name, at your brand, at whatever event you got going on. If you hosted something like that, it needs to be across the board the same. And making sure that your contact, email, website, and link, booking link, if you want to have appointments booked, all of that needs to be clear on how to reach you. Your social media page should show, how can I reach you? I shouldn't be searching to see where can I find a number, or where can I, you're going to lose people. You're going to lose people. So social media pages need to have clear contact information. Your bio is clear. You're bringing value, and I know what to expect, and it looks professional. All right. Awesome. So step three, you guys. Step three. Okay. The content strategy. All right. So I mentioned this before. We don't create content. We don't put on events to not be seen. We don't put on events for people not to show up. So when you're planning your content, you want to have strategy behind it, and you want to stick to the 3 content pillars. Okay. You want to have that same message, but are you rotating the different types of content? So you may be in your car one time. You may be actually in your office the next. You may be in a coffee shop. You may be walking. You may be, just out and about. You can switch up those content types when you're still saying the same message. You're still bringing value. You're still helping people out. You're still giving how-tos. You're still sharing tips on how to do what it is that your product or service does. All right. Even storytelling. You have a moment where you have storytelling, right? Share stories. You don't got to tell people name and business, but you got testimonials. You're helping people in your business, with your brand, with that event. Storytell, share tips, and educate people on how to do it, right? We hear this word gatekeeping. You don't want to gatekeep. Okay. And gatekeep means you don't want to just withhold good information from the public, from the people, because we all have benefited from some free advice, some free words like, oh, they dropping gems. Okay. I went to somebody's page and got multiple things that I was able to walk away with, and it actually worked. It actually helped me. All right. So with your content, don't be afraid to share the value. Don't be afraid to share the insight. Like, you build community. You want people to learn to trust you. Learn to say, hey, you know what? I saw your video. I actually tried it and it worked. Yeah, so I'm gonna follow you. I'm gonna, share your page with my friends because you're bringing good value. Guess what? Your people is your people. You want to grow, but we're going to stop the aimless content. We're going to stop just creating and just hope something sticks. Okay. We got to have that strategy behind it. All right. So next, within step 3, you need to make sure that your brand and your business voice is aligned with your values. So your brand and your business voice is basically your message, and it needs to be on repeat. Repetition is good. I'm going to honestly just say this, you can't say your message too many times. There's not a time we be like, okay, that's enough. No, you need to say your message, what it is that you do, who you serve, what problem are you solving? What problem are you solving? And your message needs to be the same across every content. Like, you're saying it different ways, but your message is the same, okay? And you're aiding to the pain points of your target audience, of your client, because everybody is struggling with something. They're actually Googling it. And when social media sees all of our technology, they keep, it's a record of searches. That's how you can Google what's trending, what's most searched. You can actually type this stuff in. And when people are dealing with a struggle that you are able to help them with, that's how your content is pushed, because you're then categorized, because your brand voice is the same. If your brand voice is the same, the social media algorithm, whatever, technology, whatever you want to call it, it gets pushed out to the people who are searching, who are most likely going to want and enjoy this type of content and this type of information. If your brand voice is too confusing, now I don't want to say the same thing, but your message should be the same. Like, what do you do? And what are you helping me with? That should be the same, so that people should know that's what I want when they see my page, okay? So your brand voice, your message should be the same across all platforms with any and all content. Engagement rate. Take the time to engage with your comments and your DMs, okay? Make sure that you're responding. That's how you build community. You can really build an intimate community where people are taking in the gifts that you have. Like whatever your assignment is, whatever brand, or, if you are your brand and you have a mission and you have a vision for whatever it is that you want to do, you can build that because people are looking for it. And when you engage, it just builds up that community, right? It builds up that community, right? So make sure you're taking time to respond to comments. Give people, if they're asking for more information, that you're letting them know how to. DMs is also good. Stay on top of your direct messages. And also with your content, you have to include hooks. You got to include hooks and call to actions. Now, call a hook. What is a hook? Hook is something that's going to want me wanting to know more. When I come across your video and you say, you know what, y'all won't believe what just happened to me. I got you hooked. Okay. And I'm going to say, I learned this marketing strategy and it helped me bring in driving revenue by doing X, Y, and Z. And I'm still bringing value. But the way that people have attention span, if you don't hook them with something that's intentional with what you're saying, having text across the screen, that's intentional. These are visual hooks. That's an audible, or, a hook that you say. And then in your caption, you want to have hooks, right? You're bringing value. You just got to know how to market. Just because you may be having low views, low engagement, your reach isn't getting that good, you need to, or even your conversion rates isn't that good. You need to know how to really be intentional with your content, how you're marketing, how you're presenting yourself on social media, because we all know that people go and check out what first. People, they validate you, their credibility, all of that is online. They go right there, okay? And call to action. Call to action is super important. Make sure you are including your call to action in your caption. That's basically telling the person what to do next. If you want to learn more, follow me for more tips. If you want to, get some free, some free tips, some strategies, comment strategies below. Okay? Let them know, DM me for more information. You want this link? Let me know in the DMs and I'll send you the link on how to register for the event. That needs to be included. Okay? Call to action. Save this. You can say save this for more, for the time when you need to go and do that meal prep. Save this or share this with someone that you know that is dealing with this and could use this. All right? Call to actions is important. Okay? And I'm going to wrap it up, y'all. I'm going to wrap it up. Definitely. So step 4 is reviewing your metrics. Okay? So this way you can gauge your business growth and your business reach. If you don't, if we don't start to be intentional, our business is just going to keep going. Like, you know what I mean? We're trying to keep the momentum and build up off of whatever momentum. You take so much time to market. You take so much time to build up community. You have hundreds of people following you. They're on the business page. But how do you know what to continue to do next? Right? You got to review the metrics. That's step 4. You got to review the metrics. So when you're intentional about your ideal client, knowing your ideal client like your best friend, that's how you got to do. You got to know your target audience as well as you know your best friend. You got to know your target audience or your ideal client as well as you know your spouse. Well, not as well, but know your audience well, okay? So that you can help them, you can bring value to them, and that you can actually bring change, all right? So when you do that, your content will reflect that. So when you review your metrics, then you can say, all right, this performed very well. I may still have my services that I, provide. But if this is what the people are needing right now that I can help them with, I'm going to hone in on that specific top performing content. If you don't do this with intentionality, you may get a viral video, but you just don't know how it happened. And then all the other videos just go back to a few views, right? So be intentional on reviewing your metrics, your key performing indicators, KPIs, right? You really want to make sure that you're reviewing that so that you know what to build on. You see your top performing content, reach, saves, likes, shares. You want to see what's doing well, okay? And then you can also track, if you have your website, you want to track your analytics on the clicks. How are you driving people to your website? Having all of that on your bio is important. You want to be able to review your conversions, right? You may have 100,000 followers, but what's your conversion rate? Even if it's just to an email list, like how are you communicating with people? You can have all the followers in the world, but what's the conversion? Do you have an email list? Do you have sales? Do you have products that you're helping people with? You know what I mean? So this is how you are intentional. You can repurpose your top content and you can adjust on what your audience love, okay? Repurposing your top content, meaning you may have you actually speaking and giving tips on a specific topic or a specific struggle or problem that your client or your target audience has, and then just make it into like a carousel, which is a whole bunch of videos with a message, and you're still giving value, you're still sharing it. You can repurpose your content that way, okay? So that's all I have, you guys. If you want just an audit of your marketing strategy, just let me know in the comments, or just DM me your email, and I can send you an audit to have so that you can review what it is that you need to do for your business. So if you're looking to have this marketing strategy on what you need to do when building up your business, your brand, your event, this is what you need to have, and this is a checkoff list that I can send your way. So you can just send me a direct message with your email, and I will send it to you guys. All right. So until next time, I will see you guys on the next live. Have an amazing night. Take care.